Hey guys, welcome back. This is Miss O'Neill. I'm calling from Connecticut. This video is going to be practicing some of the things we talked about in math just before we left school. So one of the things we were starting to talk about was using symbols to talk about greater than and less than. So these are the symbols we use. So for greater than, remember we had this symbol and we talked about the mouth, like an alligator's mouth wanting to eat the bigger number. Or we could look at it like this with dots. So 1, 2 dots point to the bigger number and only 1 dot points to the smaller number. So for less than, we have the same thing, the mouth going the other way. So if the mouth wants to eat the bigger number, the smaller number, the one that's less than, will be on the other side, and the smaller number of dots, 1 dot, will be facing the smaller number. We can also have equal to. So remember, equal to is when two numbers are the same, like 16 is equal to 16. So now I want you to pause the video, or maybe you already have them ready, and get out a pencil and a piece of paper, or a marker and a piece of paper, whatever you have, and we're going to do some practice. So as I go through the problems, I want you to practice on your paper writing which symbol you think, and the symbols will be up at the top. So when I show you the numbers, I want you to think about, is that greater than or less than? What would I put there? So our first couple of problems are these. Our first problem is 34 blank 73. So I want you to think about, is 34 greater than 73, less than 73, or equal to 73? Take a second, think about that. Think about 34, think about 73. Maybe look at the tens, look at the ones. And when you think about that, we can remember that 34 is less than 73. There's only 3 tens, and in 73 there's 7 tens. So we know that 34 is less than 73. So you can do it like that. The mouth wants to eat the 73. Or if you're using the dots, only 1 dot is pointing to the 34. Let's try the next one together. So we have 16 and 10. 16 blank 10. Think about that for a second. Look at the tens. Look at the ones. Which number is bigger? Which one's smaller? So 16 is greater than 10. So if you look at the tens, they have the same amount. They both have 1 10. You can tell in the tens place there's 1. But then if you look at the ones, 16 has 6 ones and 10 has 0 ones. So 16 is greater than 10. If you're using the dots, we'd want 2 dots facing 16 because 16 is the bigger number and only 1 dot facing 10. Our next problem is 5 blank 50. Think about it for a second. How many tens would be in 5? How many tens would be in 50? And how many ones? This one's a little bit tricky, so take an extra second to think about this one. Is 5 greater than, less than, or equal to 50? 5 would be less than 50 because we only have 5 ones. There are 0 tens if we have 5. Versus in 50, we have 5 tens and 0 ones. So if you're using the dots, remember we would only see we would have 1 dot facing the 5, 2 dots facing the 50. Let's practice some more. So, 99 and 12. What about that one? Those are some different numbers. 99 and 12. Look at the tens. Look at the ones. 99 is greater than 12. So our mouth wants to eat the bigger number, so it's eating the 99. Because here we have 9 tens. Here we only have 1 10. So 99 is a lot bigger. If you want to use the dots, we want 2 dots to face 99 because that is our bigger number. This one, 61 and 68. Now I know you guys are getting really good at this, so I wanted to trick you a little bit. Look at the tens and the ones here. Think about it. 61 and 68. Which number is bigger? Which one's smaller? So which symbol would we use? Greater than, less than, equal to? We would use less than. Because even though they have the same number of tens, they have a different number of ones. 61 has 1 1, 68 has 8 ones. So 68 is the bigger number. So we'd say 61 is less than 68. If we're using dots, we would only have 1 dot facing 61 because it's the smaller number. 46 and 80. Think about that. 46 and 80? 46 equal to 80, less than 80, greater than 80. Tens, get the ones. 46 is less than 80 because in 46 we have 4 tens, in 80 we have 8 tens. So even though 46 has more ones, since it has less tens, 80 is bigger. So if we're using the dots, we would have 1 dot facing the 46, 2 facing the 80. Oops, those are bad dots. All right, let's look at our last couple of practice problems. So we have 21 and 6. Think about that one for a second. Think about the number of tens, the number of ones. What symbol might you put there? 21 and 6. We'd put the greater than symbol because we have 2 tens here and 0 tens with 6. So 21 is greater than 6. If we're using the dots, we'd put 2 dots facing 21, 1 dot facing 6. Moving on to this one, we have 4 and 8. We have 4 and 8. Think about tens, about ones. Go where? 4 is less than 8. Because remember, we only have ones in this problem. There's no tens in 4 and no tens in 8. So we have to just look at the ones. And if we have 4, that's less than if we have 8. So 8 is the bigger number. 4 is less than 8 if you're using the dots. It would look like this. I want to add one more problem actually. It's not written on here, but I want to add a bonus problem for you. Let's do, all right. $72 blank 72. Think about that for a second. That'd be greater than, less than, or equal to. Think about that one for a second. That one would be equal to. So remember, when we have 2 of the same number, we would have equal to. So as you're thinking about this, I love that you practiced with me. Think about other numbers. Maybe how many pieces of fruit do you have in the house? How many video games do you have? How many pairs of shoes? And you can even compare your own numbers. For example, I have 3 rings on my hands. I have 1 watch. I know that I have more rings because 3 is greater than 1. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're staying safe. I miss you. Bye.